I'm Kitty.
And I'm Jennifer.
And we're the O'Neill sisters, and we're going to show you how to make a Morse code bracelet.
This bracelet is super fun because we're going to use beads to spell out a message in Morse code.
We'll show you every step you need to know to make this bracelet. We'll show you how to use round beads as dots and tube beads as dashes to spell out a message.
Then we'll show you how to finish the ends and attach the clasp. And if you love the beads that we chose for this project, we have kits available on our blog, runningwithsisters.com. Let's get started. To make the bracelet, you need a piece of leather cording. Ours is 39 inches long and it's 2 millimeters in diameter in teal.
And then you'll need some round beads and some curved tube beads. The round beads will be the dots and the tube beads will be the dashes. So for the round beads, these are 6 millimeters in diameter with a 2.5 millimeter hole. And the curved tube beads are 20 millimeters long with a 3 millimeter hole, both in silver.
To finish the ends, we've got an S-hook clasp. It's 20 millimeters long and it's silver. And we've got a cute little anchor charm, and we're going to attach that with a jump ring. The anchor charm is 17 millimeters by 10 millimeters in silver, and the jump ring is 5 millimeters and is also silver.
For tools, we're going to use 2 pairs of jewelry pliers and a pair of scissors.
And finally, we have a silver paint pen, and that's for a fun little trick we'll show you at the end.
So here's our clasp, this very pretty S-hook clasp, and there's a large loop and a small loop, and we're going to put our leather cord end through the small loop. So here's the end of my cord. I'm just going to slide it through the loop there, and then I want to slide it through about 5 inches and then bend that tail back. I want to make sure I have plenty of room to tie my knot, so I've got it doubled up here about 5 inches. And then I'm going to tie an overhand knot, which is just a simple knot, by making a loop in the cord like that. I've gone underneath the loop. It's coming out here underneath. And then I go over and into the hole there with the clasp. That's an overhand knot.
Just classic knot.
But I'm going to do an extra knot. I'm going to go through one more time. This is called a double overhand knot. And we like it because it's very pretty when you pull it tight.
And it's also more secure, which is nice.
So you pull it tight, and you want to have about 1 inch at this end, a loop holding the clasp, and then the knot lines up with these 4 cords lined up together.
So pretty.
It's pretty and it's more secure, like you said. And now we can put on the beads.
So what we've done here is printed out a little cheat sheet of our message, Bon Voyage, that we've spelled out here in Morse code. And what we're going to do is just follow this pattern and slide the beads on all at once. So I'm going to start with the B here. The dashes are our tube beads here, and our dots are our round beads. So I'm going to start with the tube bead, which is our first dash.
So B is dash, dot, dot, dot. So dash and 3 dots. So that's 1 tube bead and then 3 of the round beads.
So there's our first round bead. And these beads have a nice big hole in them, which is great because it makes it easy to feed them through. But if you find you're having any trouble sliding the beads on, you can cut the little end of your leather cording with a pair of scissors at an angle.
Right.
And just make it easier. And
we chose Bon Voyage as the message for the bracelet because it reminds us of going on cruises, which we've always done as a family.
Oh, yeah.
And also just life is a journey, so that's a great message.
I love it. So there's our O is on here now. This is the last dash of our O. And then I'm just going to continue sliding on all of these dots and dashes till I reach the end. We finished sliding all the beads onto the leather cording, and now we're ready to attach the anchor.
So we have a little anchor charm here, and it needs a jump ring so that it can go onto the bracelet. So we're going to take this jump ring and open it and attach it to the anchor. And jump rings are in this nice round shape, and we don't want to mess up that round shape. So I'm going to show you a trick to open a jump ring so it stays round. So we're going to use 2 pairs of pliers, and I can see the opening for the jump ring. It has a little cut in it. It's at the top there. And I hold the jump ring with 2 pliers, one on either side of that cut, and then I can push one side down towards the table. One side is pulling up towards the ceiling, and it's kind of opening like a gate. It's opening sideways. So it still has a round shape, but it has an opening now in it, and I can slide the anchor onto the jump ring that way.
We like the jump ring helps give the anchor a little bit of movement, so
Yes.
it'll jiggle around a little bit.
And then I can either use 2 pliers to close it and just do the reverse action, holding one side with the round nose pliers and one side with the chain nose pliers, or if you have 2 pairs of regular pliers, just use your regular pliers for both sides. Or I can press across the jump ring with the flat pliers like that. I just want to make sure that it's nice and closed. So now our anchor charm is ready to go on the bracelet, but we want to make sure the bracelet's the right length before we finish it.
Right, so why don't you try that on?
So I'm going to wrap this around my arm 3 times. I want to make sure I don't let the beads slide off the end.
And you can wrap it around 2 times if you want. It's up to you. Just make the bracelet whatever length you like.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of the clasp here, and I'm going to just pinch a point on the leather here. That's where I want the clasp to meet. That's what the length I want for this bracelet. So I'm just going to hold on to that. This will be the end here. But when we tie a knot, the knot's going to use up some of that leather. We actually have to add 2 inches to that length. So whatever you want your final length to be, you're going to add 2 inches. So that's about 1 inch, and that's about 1 inch. That's actually where we're going to put the anchor charm.
And you can just eyeball that.
So I'm going to hold this with one hand, and then I'm going to put the anchor charm on the end of the cord and slide it up to that point that I'm holding with my finger. Now I'm going to bend that leather cord back. This is where the anchor cord will sit, and this will be the end and the final length of the bracelet.
So the clasp will hook through the loop that we're about to make right there at that end.
Exactly. So I'm going to make another double overhand knot, same one we did before, and I'm going to make a loop like we did before to make an overhand knot. My cord's coming underneath the loop, so I go over and down through the loop, just a regular overhand knot like that. And before I pull it, I'm going to run it through a second time, and that makes it a double overhand knot. I just feed that anchor through a second time. And I want the knot to sit about 1 inch from where the anchor is. That's how big our loop is going to be. And so I'm just going to line up my cords a little bit here so that when I pull it, they'll make that pretty double overhand knot. And you can just manipulate it. But there's our 4 cords lined up together on that side and 2 cords on the other side here. And as you wear it, you'll just want to pull this tight every now and then until it settles in and gets used to being tied in a knot.
There you go.
So there's our knot.
Great.
It looks wonderful.
And now we're ready to trim our ends, and we want to leave a little bit of a dangle or a little bit of a leather cord piece because that's sort of the look. And also if the knot sort of adjusts itself a little bit, you want to have a little bit of room.
It doesn't
so
come
it
undone.
doesn't come undone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cut straight across rather than cutting at an angle this time. Does that look about right? About
It
an
does.
inch?
About 1 inch.
Okay. Just cut that straight across. And I'll do that with my other end as well. Make
And
it
you
about
could-
the same length.
And you could try it on one more time before you do this trimming, just to make sure it's the length you want, because you could still move the knot around.
Sure, that's actually a great idea. So now we have a little trick because the little ends here, I don't know if you can see this, but the leather cord has sort of a natural leather color on the inside, and we want to hide that. So we're going to use our trusty silver paint pen
It's a good little trick.
to hide that end. Now if your paint pen is brand new, you can see there's no ink at the end of this paint pen yet. So what we're going to do is take the tip and we're going to dab it up and down. You kind of press the tip up and down, and that gets the ink flowing. And now we can hide our little end of our leather cord just by painting a little bit of silver on the end. And you don't need much. Do the other end a little bit here, tiny bit of silver paint pen there. This end isn't quite as flush as the other end, but that's fine. I'm just going to make sure I get all the part that's the natural leather color so that it's silver. And you'll want to just let your ends dry before you wear it, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to clasp the end. So this is our end that's got our little anchor, our little loop. We're going to feed that loop through our clasp here, our little S-hook clasp. And then to wear it, you'll just wrap it around 3 times or 2 times, however many times you want. And there is our darling Morse code bracelet.
It's so cute.